Hey, we are live.
Happy Saturday.
And we were live a couple of days ago to answer all your questions about taking your business online. But what happened was that electricity was taken out suddenly by a thunderstorm. And today there's actually a hurricane on its way into Vietnam. So we are crossing fingers that we will be able to do this whole session with no interruptions to be able to answer all your questions.
We like to be, we are a little bit risk taker. So when we need to cancel it last time, we was like, no. And now we are trying again. And we got a message about this storm for just like we got it yesterday. We heard that it could come. And today is like someone say we should evacuate. But I hope this will go good and fine. And I hope you can ask us many questions. I hope we can have a hour or 1.5 hour together that will be really valuable for you. We are ready to answer all the questions you have about digital marketing, how to price your product, how to sell your product, how to scale, what pricing you should have on your products or services, how to run Facebook ads, where you should advertise your product based on your niche, how to find your target niche, all these things that you want.
So, yes, there's already people watching, and that's great. And please do write us your questions in the chat box. So, in the last session that we started to talk a bit about target niche. So, I don't think I think we should skip that for now, but we can go on and answer some of the more questions that we usually get when we work with people to build a business online.
So, and if you have questions about target niche, it's not like we will not answer it. Just send us questions. We are here for you. So, our goal for this session is like you should get as much value as you can, and you would think like, wow, this was good 1 hour, 1.5 hour.
So, post all your questions in the comments, and we can start about technology. Because there's a lot of questions that we get about technology. There's two things I wanted to start to say. The first thing is that people ask us, do they need a website? Like, I do need a website before I can build an online business. But the truth is, we started our business with no website, and we took maybe 1.5 years, and we already, like the first year, we made $200,000 from not having a website. The website in the traditional format, where you have like a page where it says everything about you and what you're doing, and a link to your profile on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and around that, and your education and this contact form thing, for most people it isn't that who makes you client and money. So the reason when we always say like, no, you don't have to have a website before we start, it's because we want you, when you are building a business, to start with the things that actually brings you clients and money. Because that's where I hope that what you want to achieve with having a business is actually being able to help people. And for, of course, most of us, it's also about getting an income.
So I've seen it's 17 people are now, so please present yourself. So write in the chat box, hey, I am from wherever you are, so we can get some interaction. It's much cooler to not only for you to listen to us, but also to know each other that are on this live stream now. So write in the chat box, hey, I am from, and also why you're joining this, what you want to learn from this. Yeah, write also what you want to learn from this Q&A that we have now. Well, what is your big thing?
Can I say a bit more about technology before we go on? So the first thing I wanted to say was that you don't have to have a website. You don't have to have an email list. You don't have to have social media followers before you start building a business. So if you have this mindset that there's so many things that you need to do first, please don't. Please get started, and start by marketing, like getting yourself out there, finding potential people that are your potential clients, and then have a system to actually sell to them quickly. Some people use a lot of time and effort to build a following, but when they start selling, the people that is their following isn't buying from them. And I want the people that start following you, and when you use effort on building a following, please do use that effort on building that following or the people, like attract the people that are also actually willing to buy or interested in what you have. I'm not really talking about technology now. I'm talking about something else. So I'll come back to that.
I can talk about technology.
Yeah, please do.
So when you run an online business, the technology is not what will make you win or lose. It's like the technology is something that should support you to build up something, and the technology can be a pain in the ass, or it can really help you to what you want to achieve. So our clients work with Kajabi, they work with Simplero, they work with what more? ClickFunnels, Kartra. And also we have moved over now to Infusionsoft, and we use different systems. So when I started, I'm a little bit technology nerd. So when I started, we started with the new Kajabi. And the reason we started with that, this was a simple system. It was someone who recommended that we should use it. And we did that for a couple of years. And Kajabi is a perfect system. And someone loves Kajabi. But what I find out, it was not perfect for us, so we started to have other systems beside, and that's just. And you can run an online business with just using Kajabi. There's nothing wrong with that. But for our needs, Kajabi didn't work, and that was more like I like to see the numbers. I want to find the numbers, and I also want to have some options to create landing pages. And on that time, Kajabi is much better on that now. On that time, it was hard to design the landing pages as we wanted. So we find Kartra, and that was our need. Some other ones say like, oh, Kajabi is much better than Kartra. And we have a lot of clients using Simplero. Simplero is also a great system. And also ClickFunnels is a great system. And also, what else do we have? Yeah, and also Symvoli, that we got some questions about, is a great system. I think the reason I see that Marta asked a question about Symvoli, the reason we have chosen to use Symvoli for our clients now, it's so easy to create funnels, it's so easy to create landing pages, it's so intuitive. What we see with other systems is like we need to follow our clients, give them a lot of advice, and we can do that. But it's all about how can you use as little time as possible on the tech stuff. What we have chosen now for ourselves is more like we have grown out from Kartra, so we have chosen a more WordPress. We are using Convertri, we are using Infusionsoft, we are using different system now to get it more benefit for us. But we also have one guy working full time for us to have this system up and running. So the thing is like, start really simple. Start with something that don't make you use a lot of money on technology or your own time, because what you should do is to deliver content. You should do what you're best to. So choose something that is simple, easy for you to understand. And our advice now is Symvoli. That's the most intuitive, most simple system I ever seen that will help you to do what you really should do, and that's deliver content and get people to buy your content. Not sitting with landing pages, email system, don't understand anything, be frustrated because of the tech stack. You choose something that are simple. And the best advice I have for you is to, for example, if you want to check out what is best for me, is it Simplero, is it Kajabi, is it Kartra, is it Symvoli, or ClickFunnels? Try 14 days trial with all of them. See what works best for you.
So I want to say this because we always get a lot of questions about technology. So some people are worried that since they aren't very good at tech, they want to be able to create an online business. And if that is you, I just want to say I never met one single person that wasn't able to do the technical stuff with help. So when we work with our clients, we help them a lot on technology because some people are just lost about it. But I haven't met one person that isn't able to go live to do a webinar, that isn't able to update the webinar landing page, or isn't able to send out an email. It isn't that complicated. If you can use a computer, and most of us can, you are able to do it. So choose a system that you like, that feels good, and that can support what you want to do. And for people that want to sell their knowledge online, what you really need to focus on isn't which system you're going to choose, it's what type of funnel you're going to build. And when I say what type of funnel you're going to build, that means how is your process of attracting new clients, potential clients, and selling to them. So dependent on what kind of product you sell, there's different sales and marketing systems. That's what I call a funnel that works best. So dependent on what kind of product and what kind of price you sell something for, there are different sales processes that are most effective. And honestly, that's what I want you to focus on. I don't want you to get stuck in what kind of systems you should use. I want you to focus on what kind of funnel should I build to actually sell my stuff. Because unfortunately, this is something that bothers me a lot, honestly. A lot of people spend much time and money to produce a course, an online course, and they have this thought in their head that having an online course is just so great because then money will flow into my account. And I'm really sorry, but that isn't the case. Many, and definitely too many, online courses or online programs are sitting somewhere on the internet, not helping anybody, not earning money for anybody. Like, that's just totally waste of time. So focus on the funnel, focus on building a system to sell what you have. And we even recommend you to deliver your program live and to start selling it first. Focus on selling. And when you have people, you deliver it live, because then that's the easiest and quickest way to get started. And I want to say this before Patrick takes over, that it is harder to sell an online course than to produce an online course. I'm going to say that again, because some people are like, oh, really? I thought that producing the course was so difficult. But the hardest thing is to sell a course. If you have sold your course or program, I am 100% sure it will be easier to sell it, easier to produce it. That's not the hard part. The hard part is getting people to, and when I say hard, it isn't that hard either. If you have a funnel, you need a system to attract people and to sell your thing. That's what you need.
Cool that we have the Santa Claus here. I love that. Hello, Santa Claus from North Pole. How are you today? How can we help you?
Are you building an online funnel?
Are you building an online
funnel? Are
you
selling your knowledge? Are you teaching people how to, I don't know, create Christmas gifts? Or travel by the speed of light or something like that?
Someone asked us if we can make a group some Sivoli. Depending on what you mean with groups, you need to describe.
So the system that we are now testing out to use with our clients, if you are interested in that, just send us an email, because we have tested and checked out a lot of systems, and now we found a new system that seems to be very simple and very good to use for most of our clients' needs. So just contact us and we will figure out if this is something that is the right fit for you.
And I also think we have 14 or 30 days trial on it. So just send us an email and you can get a 30 days trial to try it out. So there is just 2 people here, or 3 or 4, that say they are here, and we have more than 4 people on. It's like 13 to 15 people online now. So can you tell me why you're here and what you want to know today? And I hope there is no war against many Santa Clauses, because if we have many Santa Clauses, then it will be a war about who is the real Santa Claus.
So one of the other questions that we get a lot is from people that don't want to be active in social media all the time, and they have this thought or this impression that to succeed with an online business, you have to be really, 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 really active on all social media almost all of the time.
Yeah, and if you turn it over to me, I can talk about that, because I think I talked with someone who are on the line. Lene is here, and we talked about when you are an entrepreneur, it should be fun. You should enjoy the process. Of course, when you start up, there is something that you can't enjoy. But to enjoy the process is also, if you hate to do Facebook posters, LinkedIn posters, Instagram posters, going live, all these things, you should try to find out what you like with it, what you enjoy it. And we have a mastermind group with 10 people that we're working with now for over 4 days. And we had that like a topic yesterday. And it's like the journey of being an entrepreneur should be fun. It should be fun to sell. It should be fun to get clients. It should be fun to deliver things. And of course, some part of it is maybe not fun, but then you should, as soon as possible, outsource it. And also what we mean with fun, if you are think that you need to post something every day on social media because someone told you should do it, don't do it. Because here is the thing. If you start to do things that you don't like, like posting, the posts will not be good. You will not reach as many as you should. The posts need to be good. It need to come from your inspiration. It need to come from your heart. It need to come from that this is something I want to do. For example, me, I can post something on Facebook. I can post something in Instagram, but I do it when I find out, oh, now I have a cool message. Oh, now I have something to do. And the reason I'm telling this, because we are using paid advertising. We are using Facebook ads. We are moving more and more over to YouTube ads. I'm also using an agency to get help on LinkedIn to get leads from there, but I'm outsourcing it. I'm not doing it by myself because I will never do what the agency will do to attract people on LinkedIn. I need someone to do it for me. I don't want to post every day. I don't want to answer messages every day. I don't want to come up with this idea. What photo should I have on my Facebook today? So don't do it. You don't need to do it. We started with just running ads and using Facebook ads, and that's how we build up our business.
So I can say about paid advertising, because that's something that usually trigger a lot of people, like, oh, I don't want to, that sounds scary, or I don't have money for it, or something. So I want to say these two things. The first thing is that if you use paid advertising, it should pay you back. Like, you're not using, it's not like a waste of money, because you will see, you need to have a funnel, as I told you. You will see that this investment in ads actually pays you back in clients, like you sell courses or something from it. So the second thing is that the paid advertising is the lazy way. There's nothing wrong with posting on Facebook every day, posting on Instagram every day, posting everywhere every day, going live on Facebook. That's great. Like, we are live now. But the truth, it's a lot of work to build traffic and an audience just by organic things. And when I say organic, it's things that aren't paid. Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms want you to pay. Like, they are living from ads. So when you do things organically, that's great. But usually it takes a lot of time to actually get to a certain kind of audience where you can attract enough people to fill your webinar, fill your courses, like build your email list. For many people, that takes so much time. And we want to teach you how to get your business up as easy and fast as possible. I'm not telling you it will be easy, because there's a lot of work involved in building the first funnel, but it's much easier and quicker to do it if you use money on ads than if you try to build organic reach. And just to be totally clear, it's not like, it's definitely great if you want to be active in social media and do things organically, but usually for many people, it takes more time. So when we say paid advertising, it's because we want people to get results quicker.
So we have Augusta Sigrun from Iceland. She's talking about that there's 13 Santa Clauses on Iceland. We have funny. Vigdis from Vigdis Mustala from Finland. Welcome. And she's also, I was told that content marketing is the least expensive way to get clients. I was using LinkedIn but haven't succeeded. Now I can talk about that, because I also started to use LinkedIn this year. I have used LinkedIn over years, and sometimes I've got some few clients there, but it was not predictable. Like, when we are using paid ads, it's predictable. We always know that if we spend X amount of money, on the other side, we will get X amount of clients. So we know how much we need to spend, and this is how a funnel works. We can talk more about that later. But I started this year with getting help from my agency on LinkedIn, and they should help me to get clients, and they didn't work. I spent money on 3-4 months, and they was helping me, coaching me, telling me what to do, and it didn't work for me. And then I had the other one that's trying to help me, and that didn't work either. But now I finally find someone who can help me with it. And again, I'm not doing it by myself, but again, the thing with social media or doing organic, like, because it's cheapest to build something organic. If you can do the job that like an agency is doing for me on LinkedIn now, of course it's cheapest, because you don't pay anyone. But your time is also money. So you should always think about how much are your time worth. So when you are doing what you're best to, when you are like in I call it like the $1,000 per hour or $10,000 per hour. What are you doing when you are doing the stuff that really makes you money? And if you can do more of that and others can do the rest, that's also why I'm also outsourcing and not doing it by myself. And again, it should be fun. So if you like to write posts, post on LinkedIn, post on Instagram, post on Facebook, just do it. If you just like, yeah, I love to wake up and writing 30 posts, or I want to write 100 posts for next month, do it. And someone loves it. I don't like it. So it's all about what you like to do. Do that when you're building up your business. Also with marketing, do what you enjoy to do. We also have this discussion in our mastermind 2 days ago. So someone doesn't like to do webinar, but they like to do Facebook Live. Do Facebook Live if you like to do Facebook Live and not webinar. Someone like to record videos and don't go live. Record videos and don't go live. You know, I hate to produce courses and record it. I'm much more happy with doing what I'm doing now, going live and just talking. If I say something that is wrong, I can just say, sorry, I said something wrong, and then I can continue. If I do that on a recorded video, I need to record it again and again and again until it's fine. But now I'm just live. I'm saying what I'm saying. And sometimes maybe I say something, oh, that was not so smart, Patrick. And then I can just tell you. So, yeah.
I just want to mention very quickly that we have a possibility for you to get a free call with our team. If you go to the link www.awesomecall.com, you can book a 1 hour free non-committing call with one of our coaches that can help you see where you are and where you want to go, and what's the best way forward. And please do use this chance of asking your questions in the chat. I see there's people on, and I want to know, what do you want to know about building an online business?
Yeah, and I have a question for you. What have we talked about now, the first 20 minutes that was valuable for you? Write something that was the most valuable. Maybe we have for the most person who are interacting most with us and asking the best question, we will give away a book from Amazon. We'll send you an Amazon gift card on $20 that you can use in a book. So come on, please come with question and be interactive. It's much more fun when we have a two-way communication and we just talking to each other. Yep. We're talking with each other all the day, rest of the time. So no, we want to talk with you.
Yeah. So another question that we got is, how do I make a product online and what's the right price? So this is really a question that I can talk about for like 3 hours or even more. We could probably talk about it for a week, but there are different products and different levels of price, and they are connected, and they're also connected to the funnel. So as I told you already, if you have a cheap product, then and a simple product, a cheap price, you don't really need a complicated funnel. Your way of marketing and selling could be putting up an ad and driving people to the sales page, because it's cheap, because it's easy for people to make the decision. So for example, when we sell our book, this is a 20 euro product, and we advertise directly for that. People come to the sales page and they buy it immediately. And that's simple. That's the simplest funnel that you can have. But usually when people want to do an online course, if they have been thinking about doing an online course for a while, many people have this thought in their mind, like, I have to have a course over like 5 to 10 weeks, maybe one module each week. And that's a great place to start. So if you want to start by selling your knowledge online, I don't recommend you to start with a very cheap product, because it's not 10 times easier to sell something 10 times cheaper. I'll try to give you an example. It isn't 10 times easier to sell something for 500 than to sell 50 than to sell something for $500. So let's see if euros or dollars. If you sell something for 50 euros or dollars, you have to sell 10 to earn 500, or you can sell one course of 500. And it's easier to sell one course of 500 than to sell 5 mini courses for 50. So when you have a course that costs a bit more, it's easier to get clients that you actually can help, and it's easier for you to build a business faster. So I'm getting back to my point there, because the point is like, what kind of product should I start with, or what kind of product should I build? And related to what I said earlier in this session, we always say you just sell your thing first. Like, start by selling your thing and then develop it. And in that model, the absolute best way of developing a product is to deliver it live. So if you want to have like a 5 or 10 week course, you just schedule live sessions for 5 or 10 weeks and you deliver your course online, like live. So that means instead of pre-producing videos like video editing, put them in a course portal, doing a lot of things like that, you just sell your course and then you start it and you deliver it live. So there's so many advantages. Yep, I'm talking a lot. Do you want to say something before I go on? So there's so many advantages of actually delivering the course online. The first one is that you don't have to do all the pre-production thing that many people get stuck on, like, oh, I need to make an online course, but it's so hard. I need to figure out, like, how should I film and how should my slides look like, and I need to do video editing, and I need to figure out what course portal, and there's so much work, so people get overwhelmed. But instead, you can deliver your course live, like we are now, with your course group in, for example, Zoom or something. And then you can start your sessions by teaching something, and then you can answer all the questions and coach them in the end of the session. And this is the easiest way to produce a course. It's also a way of actually you being able to deliver what people want. Because if you are thinking about your course and you are pre-producing your course and you put it in a course portal, and people come to module 3 and they're totally like confused, and they just jump off, like they don't continue to do the course because they don't understand it. But if you do it live and you come to module 3 and you figure out, you understand, you see, you talk to your clients, so you understand that they're lost, and then you can change, and then you can deliver what they actually want. So this is also the best way of actually producing something that you know your clients will get result and value from.
So again, back to the book. Before we go either, I want to give away a book. So if you're interested to win a free book, you can write free book, and also tell us if you got some value from what Maria answered now. Give us some hearts and comments in the chat box so we see that you are here and you are live. So we got a question here about how to analyze your client and which program should you use to analyze.
No.
It's up there.
Okay.
How to analyze your, it's in Norwegian, but how to analyze your client and which program should you use. So this depends on where you are in the process. If you are totally new and you don't have a list of clients and you don't know what your clients is, if you know someone could be potential client but you don't have anyone, the best thing is to do an interview, like do a 60 or 30 minutes interview where we ask really deep questions about them. We cannot talk about what kind of questions you should ask now, but it's more about what kind of problems do you have? How do you want to solve it? How do this problem impact you? How do you want your life to, for you, Martha, who is a sexologist? Is that what you call it? Sexologist? I can't say
I think that's what it's called.
Sexologist. For you, it's more about finding out what is their problem with what is the biggest problem, and how do they want the day to be. So the thing is, like, you as an expert and also us like expert, we can see what the problems are for a client. But when you are in this process to find out what they really need and what they want and all this thing, you should listen and you should use the same word like they are using. And the best thing is to start interviewing them. If you have a big email list, the things will also take less time, is to make a questionnaire, so you can send out to your email list and ask this question and you can get it back. And normally how to get people to answer on a questionnaire is say, hey, if you answer in 24 hours, I will give you a free course, a free one-to-one coaching, or even if you want to go the next step, a free iPad, something like that. Make them, one of them will win an iPad, then you will get a lot of questions. And here is the thing, the people who answer most, who write most, is where you get the goal. If someone are just crossing out yes, no, that's not the goal. The goal is from them who really writes this. And you will learn so much more about them and see what they write. Look at the words. Use the words in your marketing. And also here, I see also you ask a question about, I have so many problems they have. Start with when you do a questionnaire and when you start to interview them, start with one thing you see that more have in common, because that's the easiest way. So I want to tell a story about our thing, because when I start like an entrepreneur, I want to go many ways. I want to do, I started 3 companies on the same time. And I always heard this like less is more, less is more, less is more. So when we started our online business back in 2017, we produced how many courses?
Four courses and a membership.
4 courses and 1 membership.
The first year.
Yeah. And after first year, we come to a place where we felt we needed a mentor. We needed help to go to the next step. So we got a really known, really amazing genius mentor. His name is Rich Sheffrin. And in the first coaching call we had with him, he said, like, he started to laugh and say,
at least you've proven you can make shit.
Yeah.
You can do shit.
Yeah, or produce shit.
Produce shit, yeah.
So when he meant that, it's not like our courses was shit. But what he said, like, the first thing you need to do is to start to do less thing. Focus on one thing. So the first thing we did after working with him was to just, because we had a course I had a sales course, how to be a better in selling. And it was for entrepreneurs, but it was also every entrepreneur. So I have many kind of entrepreneurs there. And the second course was like, you had a copywriting course, Maria?
Yep.
And then we produced a course was like sales and marketing for coaches and consultants. And then we produced a membership. And
we produced a webinar course, how to sell a course on a webinar.
And one thing will happen when you have so many directions, even if it's almost the same target niche, it's like you always need to think about it. So what's going in my head when we have a course about copywriting? Oh, no, we need to sell this again. And then we had a course about sales. Oh, no, we need to sell that again. And then we had a course about copywriting. So we got in this stress modus. And if you're going to have fun on the way to be an entrepreneur and delivering your thing, don't do too many things on the same time. So the thing is, like, if you want to live off this and you want to solve a problem, you want to help people, start with one topic, one problem, and do that course, and you can live from that, and you can make online business from that.
So I just want to say this, because this is also a trap that many people make when they want to start an online business, because they have their field of expertise, they have their field of competence, and then they want to do like a lot of different courses for different people on that expertise. And that's possible, but it's not what we recommend. We would much rather have you focus on one problem in your niche, in your target group. Focus on one problem, make sure that you attract those people and solve that problem. And when you have solved that problem for that niche, you are not making a course about something else that you're expert on for another type of audience. You are instead developing more programs and courses and advanced stuff for the people that you already attracted. So I'm not sure if I'm able to explain this in a good way, but this is really, really important. The easiest way to build a business is to have one niche that you can sell a lot of different things to. If you want to use your expertise to sell things to a lot of different people, that's much, much harder, because you need to build awareness, you need to build an audience, you need to build a following with a lot of different people. And when you have sold maybe one group, one course, you don't have anything more for them. So then that job was kind of wasted. Of course, it wasn't, because you got some clients and you got to help them. But it's much harder than if you have a product for somebody else. So instead of doing that, choose one niche, like one problem, one typical group of client with this question, this problem or challenge. And when you solve that for them, you ask them what more do they need, and then you develop more programs or more courses or more things for them, for the same group. Please let me know if this makes sense, and please let me know if you have any questions about it.
So what Maria is saying is so important, because many things like we need to make a business out of it. I have one course here, and when they're and then some other had this problem, so I have one course there, and then third course there, and you have all these courses that don't make any sense in thinking about the client journey. So your client, when they buy from you, they want more from you. When they're finished a course, they always want some more. So think more about taking them from A to B. And when they come to B, what is B to C? And when they come to C, what is C to D? Think about how do you get your client up to the next level, always, and step by step. And sometimes maybe, I talked about this a lot of times the last month, sometimes maybe you want to take your clients on a bigger journey that they are ready for, and then they will not buy from you. So it's better to take a course that takes them from A to B, that they believe that they can come to B, and then take them from B to C when they are on B, because they believe they can go to the next step.
So
I think we got something about, yeah.
should we do this one?
Yeah,
So
but there was something over there first. If
okay.
you go back, we should try there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's the hardest, most complicated thing about handling your own paid adverts? Can you recommend a good study material or course? Yes. You want to start?
Yeah, so I can say like we are living on Facebook ads, and the hardest thing right now to manage your paid ad is all these secret things that Facebook had that they not allow on the on when you are advertising. So for us, it's like over the at least over 3-4 last month, it have been crazy. There's so many of our clients and marketers all over the world that I know that get their ad account shut down. Also happen us. We get them shut down. We get a message that we have done something illegal, and Facebook cannot tell us what is illegal. They just have a big they have a big PDF, or they have a big you can download a PDF on the internet on about the rules to advertise on Facebook. But the biggest thing is like your Facebook ad account can be shut down, and the first time it happened you think like, oh, I done something wrong, but you need to continue and find a way to create a new one. So the hardest thing is to follow the rules on Facebook how to advertise. And I can give you some small tips on what is the rules. The first thing is like you should never use word like, hey, you will want to have a better sex life, for example. You cannot use sex either, so that's a bad example. But you should not say, hey, you.
We can't say, hey, are you struggling to sell like your knowledge online? Because it's calling out our target niche too directly. On Facebook, that means that your ad won't be allowed. So you have to find another way to actually get the attention of the right people.
So if you write a Facebook ad that looks like a Facebook ad, you're basically touching the thing like they don't allow it. Because Facebook is a social media, and they want advertisers to be more like a social media. So a good thing, I think, to think about when you should write a Facebook ad is think about if you go into a room on a party with 10 people around a table, and someone say like, hey, I saw that you have a new online course. I saw your ad on Facebook. Can you tell me more about that? One of the person, they're sitting all in a sofa, you are on a party, and one person asks you that question. And you're thinking you're just coming in, you want everyone to feel comfortable, you don't want to sell anything. So how will you talk about your new online course to one person but also involve the rest of them? So it's all about you need to write ads that involve a group, and the group on Facebook is every user on Facebook because it's social media. Another thing is like when you should write an ad, it should be something you can write on your personal profile because you are it's something you're passionate about. It should come from something you are something that you want to share, something that is your thing, not thinking like I'm going to sell a product. So you need to more think about it. It's more like a social media, and that's also videos. If you make a video that really look like this is an advertising video, Facebook will not like it. But if you make a video that doesn't look like an ad, I remember, I can tell some of our best ads. One ad was for a couple of years ago. We had a friend of us visiting us in Vietnam, and we were sitting on a bar on the beach.
Beach restaurant.
Yeah. And he's a YouTuber, so he brought with his camera, and he said we were sitting and drinking a juice or something, and he said, now we're going to film an ad. And we was like, huh? Now? Yeah, right now. And he turned on the camera. We didn't know the camera was on, and Maria said, and I said to Maria, should you start? And Maria started to laugh, and she said, hey, you should start. And then we are just going back and forth, and then we start to just saying some words like it's just natural. We didn't think about it. And the crazy thing with this, he didn't have a good microphone, so it was not a lot of voice around there. There was waves, there was other people, so the sound was really bad. But it didn't look like ad because we started to go back and forth, and we was just talking naturally, like it was not any planned. And that's one part of it. If you do that, that's also a good way to think about ad. So more natural, more make it like it doesn't look like ad. You can, for example, for me, it's like if I walk a tour and I find out I get the idea in my head, oh, this is a great idea, I want to share it. You can share that thing because you want to share it with your audience, and then you can make it to ad. So more like how more it looks like you have planned it, more like it looks like it's an ad, the less Facebook would like it, and then you can block it.
So the hardest thing about running ads is really to do the creative and to make that attractive and to make it within Facebook's limits, especially regarding Facebook. And the technical stuff about setting it up isn't that complicated. You of course you need to be shown how to do it, but it isn't that hard. For all our clients, we teach people how to set up Facebook ads, and we never had anyone that couldn't do that either. It's totally doable. I want to answer this question. So Manjit is also asking how, if you do not have a big following or email list, how quickly can this be grown? And that's a great question. So usually we help people to build a business with webinars. And that's because webinars is a great way of positioning yourself quickly. So you can drive people to your webinar, they register for free, and then you can sell to some of them like quickly. So this is a funnel where you do the marketing and the sales like in one process together. And it is an effective way of actually turning somebody that don't know about you maybe 2 hours before into a sale, or they don't know about you 2 weeks before and you turn them into a sale. It depends a bit on which model you're using. But where was I going? So when we do that, when we build a business with webinars, we usually recommend that you try to aim for 100 registrants per webinar, and you can do one webinar per week. Now I'm just giving you some numbers. So if you do 100 people per webinar and you do webinars over 6 weeks, after a 6-week launch period, you have 600 people on your list. And honestly, if for some of our clients, they get much more people into their webinars or into their list quickly. And it depends on what your audience is. It depends on if somebody knows about you from before. There's so many factors that influences how big you can, how quickly you can grow your audience. But this was just some general ideas.
And Majid, I want to ask you a question. How long time have you heard about us two? Just write it now. When did you hear about us the first time? Because the process that we are teaching and how to do it is like we always, when we are doing webinar, 70% of the people who are on a webinar and never heard about us. 30% are followers. So we are always expanding with doing webinars. So webinars is how we build our list. We didn't have, when we started this online business, we didn't have a list with the target niche. We had a list, but that was not the right target niche. So we have built up everything from scratch again. And when we go to a new market, there is always new people. There is always people never heard about us that are buying from us. So if you just have a funnel, a structure, and what you will learn with doing our course that you're doing now, that's what you need. You don't need to have a big follower. We had, so the last 4 or 5 months, I can tell the story after story because we have so many success cases the last 3-4 months, and that's also part of that. People lost their income in COVID and people are bored, so online education have been really a boom the last months. But many of these, I never had a list. We have one person that sold for $120,000 on her first 4 webinars without any list, without anything. She just marketed on Facebook. We had others that have sold for $200,000 the last 6 months, and it's the same thing. They start a business from scratch without a list. The thing is, like, you need to have a process, a model, and you need to follow that process and model, and you need to find something that works for you.
So there are more questions here. My Wenche is asking what do you recommend I spend daily on a webinar ad that runs for 10 days? You can start.
It's really hard to say how much you want to spend, but I'm more thinking like this. Get at least 100 register on your webinars, because then you can start to use some numbers and look at some numbers. Because if you have less than hundreds on your webinar, it's all about 100%. So we are running webinars that we spend 5,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 euro on over 7 days. But it's all about how much you pay per leads, and you also have a model that you know working. But the first thing I always want you to do is, before you have a model that you know, if I spend X amount money on a webinar, then I will get you back. So you know X and Y. When you don't know that, I will look at, so for example, if you run a webinar and you see that you pay 100 kroner or 10 euro or $10 or whatever. Just take it easy, and you or simple. So if you know you spend that, and you want 100 registered, then you need to spend €1,000, dollar, or 10,000 kroner. So it's all about, think about how much you spend. You see that the first day, how much you spend to get one register, and see how much money you need to spend to get 100, because then you know it's better to have 100, because then you can see accurate about if the data is working.
So the reason why we usually recommend to try to aim for 100 people registered for each webinar is because you can then statistically look at the numbers and see what's not working. If you have 20 people registered and then you have 9 people showing up to the webinar and you have no sales, you don't know if it's a problem with your webinar or if it's just that you were kind of randomly statistically not lucky on that day. So if you have 100, you will have 40, 45 like showing up, and then you should have some sales. And if you don't have sales, then you need to focus like, how do I get those people to buy? And if you have 100 people and like 15 shows up, then you know you need to work on getting your show up rate up. So the reason why we say 100 is because it's a very easy number to get some data out from. So aim for 100 the first time. And of course, when you have proven your thing, like when you have a funnel that's working, you know that when you have people on a webinar, you sell to this and this many percent, or you book a call with this many percent, and then you sell to this and this many percent, then you can scale. Then there's kind of really no limit to how much you want to spend, because you know that it depends on how many clients you want. But start with aiming for 100 participants, and if you have a model that works, then you can scale, then you can have more.
So more questions do we have here? Okay, is it valuable? Write a comment on what you're learning in the chat box.
What are you learning? What questions do you have still? We know there's more questions there. So 100. So aim for 100 registrants. Some people will pay €2 per registrant. Some people will pay €15 per registrant.
I think we pay €15 per registrant. So if we want 100 on a webinar, we need €1,500 to spend on a webinar. So look at, if you're running ads, look how much you spend the first 2 days to get registered, and see how much you need to spend to get 100 registered out of that. So if you pay 5, 10, €15 or kroner or whatever currency you are in, look how you need to multiply that by 100, and you see how much you need to spend.
So there's more questions here. So question on pricing. How do you identify what is a realistic fee? My competitors do not opening share, so I openly share, so I cannot compare. And that's okay, because we don't want you to look at your competitors and charge what they charge. We want you to look at what value you provide and then decide what you should charge. So the question about how much you should charge depends on what you're delivering, of course. And you also say here that identify my avatar and the potential problems I'm solving. This can be sold to one-to-one, or perhaps as a live course. So if you are selling where to start? If you are selling like a simple online program for, let's say, $500 to $800 or euros. If you're selling a simple online program for that price, you can sell it directly on your webinar, and it could be like one module each week for 5 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that. If you are a coach and consultant and you work usually with people over time and you help them get to a bigger result, we usually say you should have a high ticket program, which costs like 2,500 plus. And if you do that, you have a webinar, you offer them a free call, and then you sell on the call. And for that type of program, that type of price, your product can be live in a group, or it can be one-on-one, or it can very perfectly also be a combination of those. The first time you sell, of course, if you don't know like how many participants you were going to get, doing one-to-one is easy, because then you don't have to have like this certain number of participants to do something. So this is kind of a safe model, but it really depends on how you want to work with your clients. And this is one of the magical thing about having an online business, is that you can choose how you want to work with your clients. So if you rather have them in a group, sell a group. If you rather want to have them one-to-one, sell one-to-one. And if you kind of are not sure, then you can have a combination. Does that answer the question? You have anything more to add?
No, I can just say like start with what you want to do. Like if you love one-to-one, you can always do that, and there is always so you can start with one-to-one when they're totally full with one-to-one. You can start to think about okay, how can I do this in a group, and then you can develop the group. If you don't like to do one-to-one, again, I'm saying like you should do something that is fun, that makes you excited, that you like. So if you like to work with groups, start with groups. It's like start with what makes you excited and you think like this is really cool and fun, and because don't be an entrepreneur and think and have a life that is boring or stressful and things like that. Of course there is things coming up when you're building a business that will be stressful, but avoid it as much as possible. Do what makes you Manjit say that it was Brian Main who made you come to us, and Brian Main is saying do what make your heart sing. And that's also do what make your heart sing.
Martin wants us to talk more about technical systems, but I don't want to go into detail about technical systems for this session because it's we can have that discussion individually with you, Marte. Vignes is asking about Instagram Live.
So we are not. I should be honest. We are not good on Instagram. We should be. We should. But
we have been thinking about it for a long time, but haven't really come to that yet.
But the thing is, like, be good on one place. And if you have your audience on Instagram Live, do that instead of Facebook Live. Do the things that make most sense for you. For us, we are really good on Facebook. We start to be good on LinkedIn now. We are working on being really good on YouTube. But we have been running one place for many years now, and that we have been Facebook. It's all about when you are ready for the next step, you can do it. But it's all about when you're doing marketing and start to look at social media, digital marketing. There is so many ways you can go. And I think the best advice I have to you, find someone who can help you with doing it. If you don't like Maria and me, don't book a call with us. If you like us now, you can do that now. That was a really good way to promote the call. So book a free call with us, and you can get a free call with me, Morten, or Andy, and all of us will answer the question you have about how to build an online business and also see how we can help you to the next step. But here is the thing. If you are following, I know many are doing this. They are listening to Maria and me. They are listening to someone in US. They're listening to our competitor. They're listening to so many. And I get some of this on the call. Hey, follow one. Stop following us if you think someone are better than us or someone are. It's not about being better. It's more about if they like a style. If you find someone that you like, you can resonate with, you feel like is authentic, is real for you, and you like the process they are teaching, find them one and follow them. I can just say one thing: we will never be where we are now without having mentors. We are always having mentors that are helping us to the next step. I think this year we are using over $100,000 on mentoring help in each area of building our business, and we will never be where we are. We'll never take the next step if we don't have anyone to speak with to help us to do it. So find someone and don't follow too many. That will just make you so confused, overwhelmed, and will never go out from the place you are. Find one person, one company, follow that strategy, because there is not like, so if you're following Maria and me and you're following someone else, I can bet that we are saying something that another competitor will say, this is not working. But it's not like the other one have right and we have wrong or whatever. It's just like our strategy is based on what we see working best. So it's the step from A to B. Like the B is like how to sell your course. And all this step behind this is a process that we have find out is working. And one of these steps could not work in another A to B strategy. So if this makes sense, you can write, yes, this makes sense. So follow someone that you like and do what they tell you, and you will succeed. That's our success
So honestly,
story.
we see that the people that succeed with our programs, those are the people that just decide to do whatever we tell them to do, and they just do it, and then it happens. The thing is that if you follow us and you are in a program with us, or you listen to us and you read our book, and then you kind of decide to do that, but when you come to like in the middle of this, you just feel like this is a bit hard, I'm not sure if this is working, and then you start listening to somebody else and they will tell you to do something totally different. And I can guarantee you that if you mix like different recipes, the chances of getting to the result quickly are less than if you just follow one recipe and just do everything in that way. And as Peter already say, you don't have to follow us or work with us. Just find a mentor, find somebody that you trust, that you like the energy of, and do what they tell you. Because there are so many ways of getting the sales online. There's so many ways of building a course. There's so many ways of doing things. We know for sure that our method is working, but we also know that other people have methods that are working. So just find someone that you resonate with and go with that. And then don't ask too many questions. Of course, it's good to understand and to ask questions, like to understand the process. But when we took our coaching education, one of the things that we heard the most was trust the process. And it is a bit of a trust. Like you need to have trust when you are building a funnel. If you're doing something you've never done before, you need to have some trust. You need to believe that this process that you're following will lead you to the goal. And if you start questioning every single small detail that you're doing, it will just take much longer time. So the people we see that succeeded really, like the best way, the biggest way this autumn, was the people that just they even told us, like, I decided to join your course and I decided to do whatever you tell me to do. And that works. Does that make sense? Great. So Marte is asking, do you have experiences from YouTube and LinkedIn?
I can talk about LinkedIn, what I see is working there. As I told you, we're trying to find for ourselves also to have more traffic channels, because I call it traffic is where you get. So think about, when I talk about traffic channel, is where is the people. So where is your audience, and how can you reach that audience?
So traffic is when you get people that don't know about you, like your audience, and get them to do something with you, like register for your page, register for your webinar or ebook or something, following your page. That's what the traffic is. And you need that traffic from somewhere, and there are different options.
So before, when it was no social media or internet and all these things, the traffic source could be, if you wanted to do organic traffic source, it was typical go to a conference or going to a networking place or going a place where your audience are. And you can stand there with a booth, or you can stand there with talking with people. You can go networking, but you go to a place where you know your audience is. And when you go to that place, you try to get a business card because you want to talk with them. And when you go home, you can have a box full of business card. If you don't do anything with this business card, nothing will happen. So it's all about contacting the people that you have connected with. And if you look at LinkedIn, it's the same thing, and it's the same thing on Facebook. But if you compare it with LinkedIn, LinkedIn is the same area like going to a conference. So you can start to find your audience there. There is something called Sales Navigator you can buy on LinkedIn. And when you buy Sales Navigator, you can search for your target niche. For example, my target niche is coaches, consultants, and people selling their expertise. So we can make lists of that. And then you can send message to all these people you don't have in a network. So it's like starting with cold. And then you need to have a authentic, real message, make them curious about you. So if you just write, hey, I saw your profile, can we connect? It's like, who is this person? But if you write that message, like more like a how you can show who you are, because if you go to a networking place, you're presenting yourself like, oh, this is an interesting person. So how can you make a message that is authentic with you, and you send that to them? And when you connect with them, it's like maybe they click, oh, I want to have this person in your network. And when they are connected with having the network, it's like the next step is to start a conversation. So we need to start a conversation with these new people in LinkedIn. And when you do that, you start to build a relationship. And this relationship should be, in a way, the next step in your funnel. And the funnel, for me, is to get them to book a call. So that's one thing you need to do on LinkedIn. You need to do all this organic thing. You can also run ads on LinkedIn, but ads on LinkedIn is really expensive. If you look at in front of Facebook
compared to Facebook,
yeah, compared to Facebook and YouTube, so it's a harder way. So the way of doing things on LinkedIn is organic traffic. The other thing you can do on LinkedIn is, like everyone talk about on LinkedIn, to be a thought leader. And thought leader will see that you are the person that people listen to on LinkedIn. And to be a thought leader is all about posting things and being active there. So for example, my LinkedIn profile, there is posting 5 times or 3 to 5 times a week. And I also getting people to comment on it and making it like, so every week when you do things like organic, you will reach a little bit higher and higher and higher, and more people will follow you. So for example, here is the double effect of that. So if you are doing a lot of thought leader, putting out posters about what you're doing, helping people, giving content to them, and they go to your LinkedIn profile and say, wow, this is a person that a lot of people follow. And you get likes, you get comments, they're thinking like, oh, you're an expert. And the other thing is like when you are attaching more or attracting more people and trying to get more people, they look at your profile. So like, oh, this is a person I should listen to. So that there's two things. I don't know if that helps, but that's LinkedIn. Was it useful for you? You can write yes, useful. If it's not useful, write no, that was bullshit.
So Ingerdur, I love the Icelandic names, says things are clearer, like you're a decent advice. That's great. So if you have more questions, Ingerdur, I like to say the Icelandic. If any of you have more questions, please do use the chat to ask your questions. Maria is asking, if I sell in Facebook, shall I pay for that? So when you use, I'm not sure if I understand your question correctly, but if you use Facebook organically to drive traffic to somewhere, so that means you post things on social media and you say like, I have this great thing, click here and check it out, but you are not paying for it as long as it is organic. You can post whatever you want to Facebook and try to get traffic from Facebook to somewhere else. But the truth is that it's hard to get traffic in the way, like enough traffic from just using organic traffic. It's possible, but it takes a long time to build the following, build the audience to be big enough to get enough people to click or to do whatever you want them to. So the reason why we use Facebook ads, and when we say Facebook ads, that's because we pay Facebook then to show your thing to more people. So this is really about you can do things organically, which is just posting things and being active, and that you can do it all channels, but there's a lot of work involved. So we use Facebook ads, we pay Facebook to find potential clients. And what is really great about Facebook, and this is also true for YouTube, and so if you pay an advertising platform to help you put your thing in front of many people, because the advertising platforms have so much data. They know, like Facebook knows crazy many things about us. Like I think they have, I don't remember how many points of information they have about each person.
50,000.
Yeah, like many thousand, 50,000 data points. So when you put an ad on Facebook, Facebook will and this is also something that we can talk about, because before you had to put things on Facebook and you had to be really specific on what kind of people you were aiming for. Like what kind of interest, what other people they follow, how old they were, like do they have kids, where do they live, all this stuff. And you can tell Facebook that you want to reach these people in this area and that has kids and likes this person or something like that. But the thing is, since Facebook now knows more and more and more and more about us, and since the algorithms on Facebook are getting better and better, you can now just write something that is relevant to your people. And when you just put it on Facebook with a very open audience, like you are not defining a lot of things about your audience, you just leave it to Facebook to find the right people. And when people are starting to click your ad or starting to click your thing, then Facebook will connect all the dots and use all the information that they have to find more of the same people. And Facebook is doing such a good job on that usually for us, especially since we are when we are aiming for smaller markets. So for example, when we go to Norway or Sweden or Iceland or something like that, you just tell Facebook like, show this thing on Iceland, and Facebook will start to see what kind of people from Iceland are clicking on it, and then Facebook looks for the other people in Iceland that are similar. Does this make sense? This is really why some people think like some people have an impression that doing ads on Facebook requires a lot of work that isn't really needed. Most of our clients are doing this, just being very open with their audience on Facebook, and then let Facebook algorithm find the right people.
So I can answer that from Lotta. 4 to 5 posts on LinkedIn every week is 1 or 2 days work. When you are on your own, that's almost impossible for me. Yeah, that could be impossible for you. if you're going to do it, here is my advice: book one day in a month and use for content writing. So use one day instead of thinking like you need to post something one post each day. If you do one day, and the thing is like when you have 4 or 5 posts on LinkedIn, you can use the 4 or 5 posts on Instagram. You can use the 4 or 5 posts on Facebook. So you can also spread it on more arenas. But it's like you can start with 2 or you can start with 3. It's not like I'm just saying this is working, but of course you can get the effect with less posts on LinkedIn. It's just like, but to content writing and be ready for content, it's much more to just like put up one day a month and do everything instead. Or if you need to, take 2 days in a month and just do that, and then you have it for next month. That's how we start to create content. Another way to do it, like what we have done, is like a guy can interview you, or a person, like if you can get help. So you can do an interview, someone can interview with it, they can record the interview, and then they have a lot of content in that interview, and they can make posts out of what you are saying. That's how we do my LinkedIn. Someone are interviewing me, and they are taking things like I have said and make it to a post.
So should we say a bit about, please do ask us more questions if you have more questions.
Are you interested to book a call with us? Write yes in the chat. If you don't want to book a call, write no.
Should I show them the link as well? So the link to book a call is awesomecall.com, www.awesomecall.com. And if you go to that link, you can choose a time in your calendar that works for you, and you are automatically allocated to one of our coaches that is free at that time. And you have 1 hour, and it's just you and that coach, and they will help you to get clear on where you are, where you should go, what you should do. And it is non-committal, so you can do that for free to get more help. I wanted to say something about scaling a business or getting help, because most of the people that come to Awesome, they are in the beginning of moving a physical business from physical to online, or they want to start a new business doing online things. And of course, in the beginning, you are just yourself, and you don't even want to use like a lot of money to get help. But I want to say this because I was really, really, really reluctant to get help. We started our business thinking that it should just be the 2 of us, because then we would have the freedom and we can go wherever. But we came to a stage where we saw that we couldn't grow anymore, and we wanted to help more people, and we also wanted to challenge ourselves. We always want to challenge ourselves. So we came to this stage where we're like, we really need help. But I was so skeptical about delegating, because I just like to have control over things, and I like to do a lot of things, and I like the variety of being responsible for like ads and writing and delivering webinars and doing the courses and customer service and all of this stuff. And so I want to say to you also, if you are in the beginning, that it is a good thought to start with, that you can delegate things quite early. For most people, it's more effective if you find a person to help you to do things that you really struggle with and really don't like and really aren't effective at early, than trying to do everything yourself, because you will free up time, and you will not at least free up mental energy and frustration, so that you can do more of what you're good at. And when you start running an online business, if you can be more visible, if you can do more webinars, if you can have more sales calls, if you can write emails to your list, there's so many things you can do that can generate that money to pay for somebody else doing all the boring stuff that you don't like. So also I wanted to say that, because I'm changing my mindset around this now. Before I was like, yeah, it's good to do everything by yourself for a long time. But now I'm like, really, for most people, it's so much more effective to get a business going if you have that thought from the beginning, that you can delegate small things. And you don't have to delegate like a huge, you don't have to have a full-time employee, because most people, that isn't realistic in the beginning. But maybe you have a person doing social media five hours per week, and you can find a person, you can find a freelancer. There's so many solutions to this, so that you don't have to do everything yourself, because it's really, really challenging to do everything yourself.
I notice with my competitor that are emailing a lot, and the message content is almost the same. Is this needed? So when you're emailing, it should be content, and it should be authentic, real content that they get value of. It doesn't mean that it needs to be long emails, but it needs to be some content. It needs to be a message. It needs to be something learned. So I think like if they're emailing the same message again and again and again, it starts to be spam. But of course, if you have a message that is your goal, you just need to play around it. So if you have a goal that all your you get the, so here's the thing: you're building an email list because you want to get sales. You're not building an email list because you want a lot of free riders. So we had exactly we had the mastermind group we are running. We had a guest speaker. He's one of the best world-class stars in how to get emails into your email box.
Email deliverability.
Yeah. So that's a lot of technical thing, but also, of course, a lot of what you write, what the content are in the email. And he is saying like you should have one message in each email, and it could be one message. You don't need to have 5 tips in one email. You can have one tips in one email, and then you can have the 3 other or 4 other tips in 4 other emails. So it's not about how long they are, how much content is, more like if there is something I can learn from each email. That's the most important thing. And also another thing is that like you should basically email your list 2 times a week if you want to have a good response on it. Because it's not about how many how big your email list is how active it is and how many sales you get from it. So he said something that I'm always saying when I'm selling. I hate this no's. No, I don't hate no's. I hate this maybes. So when I'm selling a product, I want to get yes or no. I'm much more happy with getting a no than getting a maybe and then not taking a decision. Because then I feel I am not done my job. My job is to move people in the right direction when I'm selling something. That's the same for you. So if I get a no, you have moved them to take a decision. And many people in the world, they never take decision. And if you are helping them to get a better sex life or whatever you're doing, is like if they want to work with you or not, you're helping them to take a decision. And that's also what you should do when you're selling your online courses, but also your email list. There's no reason to have these maybes on your email list. You want, it's like I remember when I was like 16 years old, I was working like selling a telemarketer. So I was selling I think it was Programbra. What's that? It was like a TV magazine on phone. So it was like where you see all the programs that was on TV. So it's a long time ago when we didn't have internet. But when I was selling, my sales manager there, he said something to me that I still remember. Celebrate every time you get a no, because you're near a yes. And was this guy we had yesterday, he said like, I don't want to have these maybes on my email list. I'm celebrating every time someone are unsubscribing, because you're delivering a message, and when they are unsubscribing, they're saying this is not a message for me, and you get rid of them. So it's not about, there was something saying like, oh, my ego says I want a big email list. But it's not about your ego. It's about to have a responsive email list that people really like to follow you and they want to buy from you. It's not a reason to have a lot of followers that don't want to buy from you. They can go other places. You want to have an email list that respond and buy from you. So it's better with quality than quantity.
And I want to say also for your email list, this is really about your personality and your preferences. So if you love creating videos and you hate writing and you're dyslexic like Peter Erik is, maybe you should create a video to send to your list, and you just send an email saying like, here's my video for today. And if you like to write long and funny and entertaining stories, then write long and funny and entertaining stories. And if you don't like to read long emails, don't write long emails. And the best way to connect with your audience is to show your personality when you do this, when you send things to your list. What feels like spam is like if every email looks similar and every email sells something. If you tell them a fun story, if you share something, if you ask them a question, if you inspire them to do something, there's so many ways of doing that email thing, or also connecting with your audience in other channels. And that's where you need to also do what's easiest for you and what you like yourself. Because, and I got this thought when you wrote that about like your competitors that send the same thing. I was thinking that I had an experience. I think it was last year where Peter Erik and I were creating videos to social media, and we And I said to Peter, like, I'm so tired of myself. Like, I heard myself say this 10,000 times, and I'm so tired of hearing myself say this. So this is also true, that when you build a business and when you have an audience, and if you were going to talk about the same for a long time and many times, so you will feel like you are repeating yourself. So that's also how you have to do it in a way that is fun to you, that you like, that where you feel authentic. If you feel like you have to be another person to do it, it's just not going to work long term. You have to find your natural way of doing things.
And when you are building yourself up like an expert in a field, it's also about, it's not always about delivering content. They want to know you. So share some things that are happening in your life. It's all about, you should share some personal stories. And where the line is which one you want to share and not share is up to you. But share something about your life also, not only the content. Share something about clients, share something about content, share something about life. So what is happening in your life? People want to know you. Someone say that we are authentic, and that's one thing we are doing. We are sharing up and downs. We are sharing what is happening in our life. We started this session, there's coming a storm today. And there is so find something that, not only content, but divide it. We was talking with Greg Roulette one time, and he's a marketer from US, and he had this, I don't remember what it was, but it was 4 square. And when he make content, it's you could put something from each it's square. And one of them things every audience is give them hope. So you can write emails or make videos or things like that, and giving your potential clients that are on a list a hope. So think about hope. How can you make content that is about hope? And then you maybe have 3 other things. For us, it's sales. We can talk about sales. So that's we can do emails about sales. We can do emails about marketing, and we can do emails about authenticity. So now we have 4 topics that we can create content for each month. And it's easier when you share it up in 4 different things. And then it will not be the same every day or every week or something. It will be something different.
So let me know if this is valuable. Give us a like or a heart or a comment if it's valuable. And if you have any more questions now, please do ask it in the chat box, because I think we're getting to the end. It depends a bit on how much we want to say. We could really be on live for many more hours, but I don't want to overwhelm you either. I hope this has been useful. So I want to say that, because some people ask us why we talk so much about webinars. And the reason is because webinars is, I already was mentioning this, but I want to make sure it's crystal clear. From what we see from our experience, webinar is the fastest way of taking a person that never heard about you before to trust you and to relate to you and to like you and then buy from you. And there are several other ways of doing it, but we focus on webinars because that's a really quick way of positioning yourself as the go-to person for your audience. When you work defining your audience, who your niche is, who your target group is, and what kind of problem they have, and what kind of solution they want, and you can position yourself as the authority in that space, and you can get people to trust you and like you quickly, so that they're also ready to buy from you quickly. You want to have a funnel, a sales process where there's short time from people get to know you to some of them will buy. Of course, not everyone will buy immediately, but some people will buy from you quickly. And this is because then you can build a business faster. You could also actually make a difference faster. And I totally believe that every time we do things online, I think that the people that are on, including you, are here on this planet to make a difference. You have something you want to share. You have something that you believe will make a difference to people. And if you do that, of course, it's important that you get it out as quickly as possible. Instead of using 2 hours of building a following and building up a Facebook group, and then you kind of at some time later, and after that 2 years, offer them something. Honestly, nobody gets any real results from just joining your free thing. So you need to build a following. You need to give, of course, you need to give free content, but you also need to sell to people quickly, offer them. And if you have this, we can talk a bit about that maybe. If you have this fear of selling, because I was totally afraid of selling when we started our business. And we started our business by doing physical events and selling from stage. And I had this vision that selling was kind of really pushing somebody to buy something they didn't want. And of course, when I came from that mindset, I wasn't very good at it. But I realized that I have something that can make a difference. And it's the same for you. You have something that can make a difference. And what you do when you sell is really offering help. You're offering people to get out of a situation where they feel bad, where they're stuck, where they're challenged, where a lot of things aren't as they want them to be. And you help them to get the solution to their problem. So you're doing them a favor by offering your thing. And you're doing people a disfavor if you aren't able to sell, if you aren't able to offer what you have. There's a lot of people out there that need you. They need you to sell your thing. They need you to offer them because they want the solution. So you need to get your things out there.
So was that valuable? I see we get some hearts and things like that. So give us some more love. And also, if you want to win the book, write some more questions and we'll find out who will win a book. We'll send an Amazon gift card to one of you, to the person that we will have a short talk after we have finished this thing, and we'll announce it in the chat after. And I want to say something because I talked with my sales team about it yesterday. When we are selling our product, basically, I'm not doing this because I want to sell a course for X amount. I'm not doing that. I'm doing these sales calls, these free calls we have to help you to take a decision. I remember so many times in my life when I have been in yes or no mood. I don't know if I should do it or not do it. And that's the worst situation to be in. Sometimes it's better to just take a decision and do it. And if you have been thinking for years or months or whatever time to do something online, but you feel like, oh, I will not book a call now, or I will not do it now, when is the right time? I had someone I talked with last year, and some other one talked with them this, one of my sales guys talked with them this week again, and they said exactly the same for 1 year ago. It's not the right time now. So are you saying that because it's not the right time, or is it saying that because they are afraid of something? So find out, take a decision. Don't be there and say maybe or maybe not. If you want to go online, talk with us. We can find out if it's right for you. We'll give you some advice. If you think like it's not the right things to go online, and you find out after this Q&A, I'm so happy. It's not about be there in this. It's the same thing like having people on the email list that are not taking a decision. Get rid of them. Also, we want you to take a decision. If you say a no, I celebrate, because then you're taking a choice in your life and move yourself forward instead of staying in the same position without taking any decision.
So the reason why we offer you a free call, and this call is for you if you want to sell your knowledge online or if you're already selling your knowledge online. And the reason why we offer this free call is really because we want to help people. We see that there's so many people that has great knowledge that can make a difference to people, but they're stuck. And of course, we have been answering some of your questions now, but if you have any more like technical questions or individual questions, or like, this is my niche and I've been thinking this and this, is this going to work, or what kind of product should I sell first? That's hard for us to do on this Q&A. And that's why we have this call, because our coaches will talk to you individually about where you are, where you want to be, what's your dream, and they will tell you if it's doable or not, and they will tell you how you can do that. And they will give you personalized advice. So you actually get on the call one-to-one with one of our coaches, and they will give you personalized advice. So you need to work on this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And if you are a person that we can help, we will invite you to join one of our programs, but you are not committing to anything by booking the call. The call is totally free and non-committal. So if you think now that this has been interesting, I kind of feel like I wanted to know more, I want to know if I can do this, I want to discuss this and this issue, this call is for you.
And it's also the last time for the English-speaking market. We are doing these calls for 6 months now. So if you're ready to do it now, you need to book a call now. If you want to do it next year, in the middle of the next year, you can wait. But why should you wait? Seriously, it's like time. There's always, so every time I'm doing something in my life, I can always find an excuse why I should not do it now, because something is happening. But it's not moving me forward. If I have a goal, if I have a vision, if I have something I want to do in my life, do it now instead of waiting. You're one of the stuck people. Yeah, so take a decision, do it or not do it. It's not
I
like,
already booked a call. That's great.
yeah, I know that.
Oops. So I'm trying to write the link in the comments.
What you say? Yeah.
Yep.
I won't be offended otherwise.
Great. Be great to hear more about your success stories. Yes. You want to take some more success stories now? So I just want to say, because we were aiming for 1.5 hours, so I don't have that much time, but I want to share that this year, what we have seen is that because a lot of people have been like, but now people are not wanting to use more money because a lot of people lose their jobs, or they like there's so much fear. But I want to say this year of 2020, this crazy year of 2020, was the year when 5 years of predicted development in the online education market happened in 3 months, because everyone was like instantly forced to do things online. So people are used to meeting their mother-in-law and celebrating birthdays and doing their yoga sessions and everything, and like having meeting with their colleagues. Everyone is used to doing things online now, and that's why the what do you call it, the objections amongst people about joining an online course or a program is lower. So that's why we see this year there's so many cool stories from our clients that has just made the decision, like right now I need to move online, and many of them succeeded in much bigger scale than they were expecting. Now is the right time. And I want to just say that because some people feel like there's so many others doing this and I'm too late and I should have done it 5 years ago. And of course, it would be cool if you did it 5 years ago, but now we are here and it's 2020. And if you wait 5 more years, then you will regret that you didn't do it this year. The competition is growing, but also the market is growing. So there is a lot of opportunity and you are not too late. And please do book a call if you want to know more about how you can get started, how you can get out there, how you can get help from us if that's what you want.
And the most important thing to succeed is to be really targeted on a niche. If you get too broad, you will be one of many. I saw that Marte was writing about she's a sexologist, and she said, yeah, but I'm like a doctor. They're coming in there and want all this thing. So here is a little bit story about if you look at a doctor or in a society. If you was the first doctor in Oslo or in a big city, everyone won't come to you. But this next doctor and the next doctor and the next doctor need to be something, do something else if they're going to attract clients. So that's also why we have doctors today that are really niche doctors in a field. It's not like they do
like
everything.
You have eye surgeons. Yeah. Like they know only about they do the whole day is to do surgery on eyes. That's because like they have niche down, and those are usually the most I don't know if I should use that example, but a lot of the niche people are the best paid ones because they are considered as experts and they have been studying like and they're really specific on helping this kind of problem, and that's where you want to go also with your business.
So be an expert in your field and narrow it down. That's the best way to look at if you really want to succeed. And all the stories we have about successful clients is that will narrow it down. They will think like, there's so many say, oh, I want to help everyone. It's like, it's same for me. I know that we don't I know that I can help other niches than just coaches, consulting, or what I call info entrepreneurs, that you have information you want to sell online. I know that we could do other, but the things like, for first thing, if you want to have focus and make the life easier for yourself, choose a niche. Because if not, you have all this problem that we talked about in the start, that we have different courses for different audiences. We need to follow them up. I feel bad if I don't follow up that audience, another one. Now we have one audience. We have one group of people. And we're also talking to you now. Why you maybe like what we're talking about is because we know you. We know what your problems are. We know where you're going. So when we are answering questions, we're trying to inspire you to take the next step. So it's all So that's the most important thing. If you want to succeed, narrow it down, be really specific on, and be an expert in that field. Take that expert, and then you can charge more. It's easier to get clients, and it's also easier to reach your goal. And also, I wanted to say one thing, because, and then someone say like, yeah, but I want to help as many people as possible. Here's the truth. If you charge more, you are more expert in a field, you will get more motivated clients. When they are motivated, they do what you tell them to do, you get better result, you get more people coming to you, and you can spread your word faster than just doing it cheap and getting people that are not motivated and not doing what you're telling them to do.
So, last thing to say, you can still book a free call at awesomecall.com. I hope this was valuable for you. You can share it if you want to share it with somebody else that would have use of this. And I hope that we answered your questions. And if not, you can also continue commenting after we are live, and somebody will check the comments and come back to you and answer your questions.
So last thing, we will write in the chat box, so check later who will win the book. But please share this live stream if you liked it. Share it with friends. Write a comment. Please ask many others to see it and like it and share it, so more people can see that, yes, who are in the same situation like you, will need help to go online and sell your knowledge online. Thank you, and remember, book a call. Do it now, right now. Don't wait. Don't think it's 6 months or 1 year is the time. Do it now. Take a decision. See you.
Bye.
Bye.